Welcome to Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Toronto and Natrona Heights, Adio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Borough in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington. Great to have you with us. Thank you for joining us tonight on Sportsline Trivia. Bob Tattern here, Mike Pavlik tonight. Lots to talk about with the All-Star break and the fact that the Pirates did not have a successful trip into St. Louis or Cincinnati. And my prediction was incorrect this time.
Well, you're predicting 18 out of 26 was right on the money, so I'm not going to hold you to missing by a couple of games last week.
I thought that the Buccos would win 5 of the 7.
No, you said
4,
right.
And it was the opposite, 2 and 5.
Right, 2 and 5.
Well, not direct opposite, but anyway, bad.
Not good.
Things happen, but.
They had a nice streak, and then they followed it up with not so nice streak. But the alarming part of the whole deal is that they have done very well against the lesser lights in the league, but against Cincinnati, St. Louis, and Milwaukee, they haven't done well at all, and that's why they're in 4th place, even though it is only 3.5 games out.
And they did announce today, Matheny, the manager of the National League, that McCutchen would play center field, and he's taken the Milwaukee guy,
Carlos Gomez.
Out, and that's nice.
That's the last 2 Gold Glovers. Been interesting though, because Gomez won it last year. He's a way better center fielder than McCutchen is, but that's
you think
defensively, absolutely, and not even close. But Matheny said, "Look, I got the MVP. I'm putting him in his position." So McCutchen's gotten some status. He's going to lead off too.
Okay.
Batting first.
All right. When you called tonight, we have some folks on hold, ready to go. We also have a few folks in our audience here tonight, and you have an opportunity to win a prize. Simply answer a trivia question correctly, and what kind, we're going to leave that up to you. Multiple choice. You can get into the Grand Salami, which is a little more difficult, or the Mystery Profile, which is a lot of fun. And most people, even if you get it on that Tinker Toy clue, you wind up with something.
Right.
So anyway,
a tangible result.
Let's take a look at the rules and the regulations on winning here in the program. First of all, you can only win at your household address every other week. Every other week. The Grand Salami Prize or the Mystery Profile, one or the other, you can only win that once in a calendar month. And also for the Mystery Profile, you can only try that particular phase of the trivia once in a calendar month. Time limits are 15 seconds for the multiple choice, 20 seconds for the salami questions, clue by clue for the Mystery Profile. First-time callers will win more than one prize, and you can get the answers to the trivia on my website, which is doubledribblebob.com. All right? And my radio program is heard every Saturday morning on WAVL. They're 9:10 on the AM dial. One of my sponsors happens to be here tonight, witnessing our program from the audience. So the Saturday morning program, as we mentioned, WAVL 9:10 on the AM dial.
Okay, now, I had mentioned it quickly, and I have the numbers now, that against the Reds, Cardinals, and Brewers, the Pirates are 13 and 26. Against everybody else, they're 36 and 20.
So we're beating up on the smaller guy.
And they're not going to make up any ground if they can't beat the teams ahead of them.
Yeah.
And they had a legitimate chance to do it this week, and they didn't do it. And the schedule after the All-Star break gets really hard. And so we'll see.
The warning is there.
It's there.
Commercial break time. We're coming back with our first caller. Stay with us. Mike and I will return momentarily. Since 1914, the local area has relied on the Resevich family of funeral homes in deepest times of need. The Resevich family is the oldest established name in the funeral profession in the AK Valley, now 100 years strong and still doing things right. Its reputation and unquestionable service now continues with a fourth generation. The Resevich family of funeral homes, 5th Avenue Arnold and Leechburg Road in Lower Borough.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
380 Auction and Discount Warehouse, Route 380, Murraysville.
Automotive supplies, groceries, housewares, pet supplies.
All at discount prices.
Sofas, dining tables, recliners, dressers and desks, lamps and end tables.
All at discount prices.
Yard and landscaping supplies, special catalog orders, mattresses with full warranties.
All at discount prices.
School supplies, tools, paint, toiletries, model cars, toys.
All at discount prices. Get to 380 Auction and Discount Warehouse today, Route 380, Murraysville.
And if you happen to be shopping for a pre-owned automobile, we suggest Tower Auto Sales in Blawnox. 3 indoor showrooms. It's a full-service facility. They have an experienced staff. They feature Lexus products and actually all makes and models anyway. Tower Auto Sales, just buy it. Get a hold of Mike Fanta if you wish at area code 412-828-6202. All right, we're going to go to the phones right away and kick it off. We got a lot of folks here tonight to get on the air. So let's go to Tony, I believe, is number 1. Welcome, Tony. You're up.
Hi, gentlemen.
Hi, Tom.
Somebody come in.
Yeah, they had to. I was talking to the audience.
Exactly.
The audience is laughing.
2 and 5, huh, Bob? What did I tell you, Mike?
Yes.
Is that his prediction?
They haven't been able to beat those teams.
Hey, and guess what? They're finished with them. So you can't make up any ground playing them.
Not playing the JVs anymore.
Nope. They, I told you guys after last year, I said, don't get excited. Number one, everybody had a career year mostly. I said, and you lose all them guys. Even if they all came back, every one of them, you still needed help.
No, they didn't. They didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, they didn't do nothing about it. They sat on their hands as usual. Yep, they sat on their hands as usual. But, hey, that's the power, so guys keep going down. The only place that PNC Park is a recreational. Well, it's like a sports bar. No, I'm telling you. I have a friend that even though he's a friend, he buys that package to 20 games. He says, Tony, I go down to games, the seats are empty. I know they're sold out. He said, go up into them lounges. So, I think it was a week or so ago, the camera was up in the lounges. The lounges were packed.
Of course.
Packed. And they got TVs. And they wasn't even watching the game on TV. I mean, a guy could hit a double, drop over dead, or, anything out there, and they wouldn't know what the heck's going on. So that's just an expensive sports bar. That's what they go to. Half of them go there just to socialize.
That's a lot of what it is, though.
But isn't that what it is everywhere?
But you know what's funny too? It's like if you're sitting in the seats actually at the game, and I know, Tony, that when you would go on a regular basis, I'm sure you were like us when we go, and I still do. And that is, if something happens that you don't like, you start to complain about it, and people turn around and look at you like you're in charge. It's like, why are you? What are you talking about? You can't say bad things about what It's like I'm talking about what I'm looking at.
I got a great story. Great story on this. I'm down there with the Pirate games. Back when I used to go, back in the way back, when I used to play baseball.
Right.
So we're sitting just, I would say, to the left side of the catcher. Beautiful seats. Stargell comes up, hits a home run. Comes up, hits a home run. Comes up, hits a home run. Now he's got 3 in a row. Comes up for his 4th time. Swung at 3 pitches that maybe made 55 feet. I jumped up, called him a bum. Everybody around me said, "What are you, crazy? He hit 3 home runs." I said, "Sir, how many times have you seen somebody hit 4?" I said, "He swung at 3 pitches with 55 feet. Come on." Hey, you know, you're right. And I got everybody on my side after that, but I thought it was going to be a lynch party. But that's the honest to God truth. I said, how many times have you seen somebody hit 4 home runs? It doesn't happen very often. And to swing at 3 pitches like that, come on.
Exactly.
You know, if it had been down the middle, he swung a miss, fine. Hey, no problem. The pitcher beat you. You know, but I thought, well, I'm going to see somebody tie history, you know. But that didn't happen. In the meantime,
yes.
The other, what was that? Saturday. They won Saturday, right?
They did win Saturday. McCutcheon won Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah. They're playing, you know, one of the guys that they have to battle. And
that's the extra inning game, yeah.
What is Harrison, 65, 70? You have to sit him down?
Yeah.
Huh? I mean, is he on Medicare already? I mean, I don't know. I mean, you tell me. And his mother came to the game. He's sitting on a bench.
Hey, Lunchbox had hits. Well,
yeah.
But I know. Yeah, his mom comes to every game in Cincinnati because that's where they live. But I know.
I mean, if you look at this bozo, every time we're ready to sweep a series, and that's why we only swept one. He sits down McCutcheon or Harrison or somebody that's doing good.
He really made me scratch my head this week a few times, I got to tell you.
Scratch your head? I scratched more than that.
Oh, my goodness
on
gracious.
This guy. Well, that's why they ran him out of way. Believe me, last year you could have got a fungo bat, stuck a hat on it, stuck it in the corner, and it could have won the most valuable manager of the year because they all had career years last year. Anybody could have won that the way they played. Now, guy announced, I think it was Saturday, that we had 4 players from our minor leagues make the All-Star game. 4 players. Then he said, oh, wait a minute, there's only 3. And the guy says, well, what happened to the 4th? He said, well, they traded him to Cleveland.
That was Dickerson, yeah. And
now,
it was doing really well since he got to Cleveland. He's playing in the major leagues. He should have been here the whole season, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I want to tell you. My cousin calls me in the morning. He's going to the Cleveland game. He said, oh, by the way, thanks for that trade. I didn't even know what happened. I said, what trade? He said, well, you sent us an outfielder for a player and or money, cash money. I said, well, we'll take the cash money. Yeah, I guarantee that. I said, if it's going to be a person, they'll take the hot dog vendor in section 308.
We're gonna have Terry's on hold. We'll talk to him a little bit later. He's a Cleveland guy. I'm sure he'll thank us for Christmas.
Oh yeah. Well, the guy played against the Yankees. He went 3 for 4. He's batting .467. So I start going through my my papers, and my cousin said, this guy's been hitting the heck out of the ball since he's got here. He said, thanks a lot. I said, oh, no problem. We give him away. So I started going through the paper, all my papers and that.
He had an out on the 15th, and a bunch of these guys have this in their contracts. And this is. I'm just going to tell you what it is, and you can laugh along with me. He had an out in his contract on the 15th of July. That if he wasn't in Pittsburgh by the 15th of July, he became a free agent. Yeah. So what they did was they traded him before that happened. Although, and we said that. Now this week, Marte goes because his mother-in-law died, so he left for a couple of days. And they needed him here, and he should have been on the bench here the whole season. But they were messing around with that great bench.
I mean, how's he going to crack? How's he going to beat Gabby Sanchez out? How's he going to beat Davis out? Any of those great players we have on the bench.
Well, Pedro,
unbelievable.
Pedro should be playing first base because you can't throw a ball away too badly there, and that's where he should be. And all this stuff about, I heard it would be unfair to ask him to move in the middle of the season. It would be unfair to ask him to go to left tackle. It wouldn't be unfair to ask him to go to first base.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we've been winning so much it would really be unfair.
Yeah, it would be unfair.
But it's ridiculous. And like I said, I went through my recycle bin and got all the sports they got. He was 3 for 6. He was 2 for 4. He was 1 for 2. Hitting.
And Tony, he's been in the major leagues before. It's not as if he'd be a stranger.
Right. But we don't need that.
No. God forbid we have a good bench guy.
Oh yeah, we went through big bench. Well, one more story, then we can move on.
Okay.
I read in the paper that Braun from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yeah. And A-Rod, when they were at college in Miami, they was taking that drug then.
Right.
Okay. Guess who else was at Miami?
Your boy Gabby.
Huh? Gabby A. Sanchez.
There he was.
He's so bad he can't even take a drug right. He was taking the same thing. Those two guys became Supermen. He must have been taking, I don't know what he was taking. He thought he was taking kryptonite, probably.
It just goes to show you, Tony, that you have to have, that the steroids alone aren't going to get it done for you. There's got to be talent, too.
Some talent, right? You have to have a little bit of talent, even with drugs.
You got to have talent, too. It's not just the steroids alone to get it done. I can take all the steroids in the world. I'm not going to hit 60 home runs.
Hey, I don't know. A lot of those guys in the Pirates, they can give them every drug in the world, and it's still ain't going to do no good.
You remember when all this stuff broke and Lloyd McClendon was managing the Pirates, and they asked Lloyd McClendon, do you think you might have a problem with steroids on the Pirates? He goes, take a look at our locker room and look at the stat sheet. We don't have that.
Exactly.
One of the greatest things Lloyd ever said.
Exactly. Okay, now let's go to trivia.
Sure, let's do it. Let's win
All right,
something.
Since you have a lot of people there.
We do. We're lined
do.
up. We're lined up tonight.
All right, I'm going to go with Grand Salami.
And?
And let's see. Let's go with number 2.
Okay. Tony in L.A. Grand Salami, number 2. Here we go. Who holds the Major League Baseball record of most plate appearances without ever reaching first base? The Major League Baseball record. Most plate appearances without ever reaching first base.
You had to be a pitcher. Wow.
This is reasonable thinking.
I don't know where Bob's coming up with these. These really.
You know what, Tony?
Never come on me to see who's the bat. All of them.
We
can pick any Pirate pitcher, but
we had this as part of a conversation. We talked about this guy on the show.
Well, I must have been. Well, you know what? As soon as I hang up, I can't hear the show.
It's your problem. It's your problem. Anyway.
All right, let's go with Steve Carlton.
It is not.
You're going to die. You're going to die.
I met this guy once.
I'm going to die. I've done
Nellie
that before.
King.
Who? Nellie King.
Nellie
yeah,
King.
I heard that question.
Now
that you said Nellie King.
I don't have it in front of me.
Till the sun shines, Nellie. Remember that? The
American.
Yeah. He had
how many times?
He had approximately 72 at bats.
I'll look him up.
He didn't even get hit with a ball?
Walked, singled, never got hit by a pitch, never got on in an error. He
Unbelievable.
did nothing at the plate. Perfect batting average of .000.
He should be on our bench.
The late Nellie King, and I don't
he'd be
want to
making
speak.
$15 million, or maybe $11 million, sitting down in minor leagues. All right, guys, have a good day.
Tony, thank you much.
You take care.
All right.
All right, folks, break time. We're going to come back in a moment, and I believe we're going to go to Terry. We're going to go with Terry?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. All right, Terry, you're up next. When we come back, stay with us, folks. We'll be back in a flash.
Mogi's Irish Pub on Leechburg Road in Lower Borough has 16-ounce Bud Light aluminum bottles for just $2 every Saturday with local bands and DJs on the patio. Stop at a Mogi's Irish Pub and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Accidents happen. Are you prepared? You can be with a wide range of homeowners insurance options from Westmoreland Insurance Services. Putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557. My first book on sports is available not only through the internet, but at various local businesses in the AK Valley. It's Bob Tattern's Sports Minutes. Short sports stories, odd and unusual, fascinating and funny, only take about a minute to read. Go online to doubletripplebob.com, where links are provided for Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Word Association to get book information. Get your copy locally at Costello Printing in Tarentum, Blackburns in Tarentum, Myrna's Brewery Outlet in New Kensington, or the Hot Dog Guys Lower Borough.
What is it that makes a Husqvarna dealer a Husqvarna dealer? Well, just look close at the engineering in our outdoor power equipment. We're known for high performance and reliability in everything we make. So is it any wonder your Husqvarna dealer is also known for high performance and reliability in everything they do? With a nationwide network of Husqvarna dealers, there's one just around the corner.
Rockefeller's in Freeport has 16-ounce Bud Light aluminum bottles for just $3.25 during all World Cup soccer games. Stop by Rockefeller's in Freeport and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
One of our sponsors is Mattio's Pizza and Subs, located in Brackenridge Heights. Everything on Mattio's menu made with quality ingredients. Hand-tossed pizzas, gyro sandwiches, subs, hoagies, calzones, strombolis, wingdings, and a lot more. Mattio's Pizza and Subs has it all, including their signature Iron Man hoagie. Thing weighs a ton. Mattio's, located 1000 Broadview Boulevard, Brackenridge Heights, 724-904-7312 is the number. Okay. Let's jump over to Terry. Terry, in New Kensington, how are you?
Good evening, fellas.
Good evening, Terry.
Haven't heard from you in several weeks.
Yeah, I went out, took the garbage out, got lost, couldn't find my way back in the house. It's pretty sad.
That happens on
It happens every once in a while, yeah. You need that GPS on your watch or something.
Hey, I never thought of that. That's a good idea. Or a string tied to my wrist from the doorknob, one of the two. Hey, the reason I called, I don't know if you guys have ever been up to Altoona to see a game.
No, I have not.
I was up there. My sister-in-law got some tickets. So my wife and I and her family went up, 2-3 weekends ago. And I'm not a big fan of mascots, but it was kind of funny right from the get-go up there. They have 3 of them running around, by the way, but the one I thought was funny started off by his name. The Altoona Curves main mascot is named Al Tuna. And he's an orange fish with a red sweatshirt like the uniform color, and he hangs out behind the center field fence. And anytime the Curve scores a run, the gate and the center field fence open, and Al runs out and dances on the field in center field and turns around and shakes his rear end at the pitcher and then runs back and closes the door.
I thought you were going to say someone either A, harpoons him, or B, catches him in a net.
Yeah. No, but I do hear the rumor is false that he is related to Charlie Tuna. I think. But, Indians, huh? Yeah, I heard you talking about Dickerson. I guess his name is.
Yeah, Chris.
And he doesn't have that many at bats yet, but he's been hitting over 500 most of the time.
Of course. And
he's been playing great defense. He has sat out at least a game or two now with a pulled hamstring. And they think he'll be back pretty soon because they don't think it's real serious. But, play it safe right before the All-Star break and get a few extra days of free non-use, I guess. And, when Tony mentioned that they are going to get either cash or money for him, I don't know if that's Norm Cash or Don Money, but...
I think we had Don Money once. We had Dave Cash, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, and one other thing I wanted to mention, I always call up and whine about inconsistencies in baseball. Of course, I think back to Josh Harrison running over half the field, trying to get out of that rundown between second and third, getting into third safely. The call being challenged that he was out of the baselines when he was in the grass, and then they ruled that was okay. Over the weekend, There was a guy on first, ground ball to the Indian second baseman. He catches it, goes to tag the guy, who, to avoid the tag, steps in the grass, is immediately called out, and then the throw to first, double play. No challenge or anything, and that really makes me wonder what they've got to do to get things right. You know?
Yeah, they did show there was a replay on ESPN the following day where they actually had a shade of a different light color going through the infield so that you could actually see.
You get 3 feet on either side.
18 inches on either side of, right down the middle.
And it was...
He was clearly.
Yeah. But I'll take it since we don't get too many.
Well, even the home plate umpire yesterday, inconsistencies.
He was terrible.
He did not call a great game, and they had a couple of calls where they would show where the ball, landed. Yeah, in relation to the strike zone sketch that they've got. There were two actually in the same spot. One he had called a strike, and another one within an inch of it that he had called a ball. So,
yeah. Well, years ago we went up to Mahoning Valley Scrappers minor league in I think it's Niles or Girard, Ohio, and we were seated directly behind home plate against the screen, and I don't know, it might have been 50 feet to the catcher and the umpire. And so the guy throws the first pitch in, and the umpire says, ball one, and I said, that's a strike, real loud. Next pitch, same place, strike one. Yeah, that number one, I shouldn't be able to convince the guy. Number two, there's got to be a way to solve that problem, too, because boy, from umpire A to umpire B is day and night, and then you get umpire C, and from pitch to pitch is day and night.
I love it when they show the little grid, the little box that they have,
right?
And they'll show two pitches right on top of each other. Doesn't matter if it's in the one's a ball and one's a strike, and it doesn't matter if it's in the strike zone or not. But the fact that they can call two pitches in exactly the same place, two different things, and a lot of it has to do what the first one was called and who complained about it, like you said.
Yeah. And along those same lines, of course, Jim Rooker's old bar burned down, I guess, in Ambridge or Aliquippa, and that reminded me of Rook's book that they used to show, and they'd have that tic-tac-toe board, and basically every time they showed Rook's book, the idea was, you better not throw it down the middle. That was insightful.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys, well, I better get off of here because you said you're busy, so...
You want to go for the... a trivia question tonight, or what?
Yeah. Let me try the mystery profile if I can.
All right, let's give it a shot here for Mattio's Pizza and Subs located in Brackenridge Heights. Terry, let's get it started now. Your $100 clue is, near the beginning of my Major League Baseball career, I served in the U.S. military, and I missed over 260 regular season games. So that's about a year and more than a half.
And Terry was at all 260 of those.
Oh, then it must be Bob Feller.
Exactly. Is that your guess?
Yeah, that's my guess.
What did he say?
He said Bob Feller.
Oh, no, okay. I didn't even hear that. Okay,
which is an inspired guess because he did miss time. So
$75 clue. Mike got it on the second clue, by the way.
This was made today. Yeah.
The gap of time between my 250 home run seasons is the biggest span of time in Major League Baseball of anyone who had 250 home run seasons. 10 years apart, as a matter of fact.
Jeez. Home run. Boy, Mickey Mantle.
Yeah, I was going to say that also leaves out Hank Aaron, who never did hit 50.
Right, I mean, that gives it a narrow down there.
Okay, your third clue, if you get it here, it's $50. I share a record of posting 8 consecutive 100 RBI seasons. I think there are only 3 other guys in that group. There are 8 ball players who had 8 consecutive seasons of 100 RBIs or better.
Wow. That's quite an accomplishment.
You better believe it.
Boy, I'm
Okay.
hitting the well dry here. I guess I'll go with Willie Mays.
Hello.
Hey. $50 worth
All right.
for Terry.
Terry really cleans out that prize closet on these mystery profiles.
Yeah.
Not like Tony on the.
I was going to
the
say, you're the
salami.
Tony of the mystery profile.
Yeah.
All right, $50 worth coming out to you, Terry. Thanks for the call.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you very much, guys.
All right, appreciate it. Let's go to Chris in Lower Borough, who's not been on the show for a month of Sundays. Chris, how are you?
Hi, Bob. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Good, Chris. How are you?
Okay, the reason I'm calling is I'm interested to see where Bilesman goes and Ray Shero. Do you think they'll be together on a team, or do you think they'll sign two separate contracts?
Chris, I had a heck of a time. Can you slow down a little bit?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wondered, do you think Bilesman is going to end up on a team together with Shero, or do you think they'll go their own separate ways?
That's a great question. Neither Bilesman's asking about Bilesman and Shero. Neither of them are going to have a job to start the year. So that's the first thing. They hung on to Bilesman long enough that nobody hired him to be a coach. And Shero, there's rumors, Chris, that what Shero is in line for is to be the successor to David Poile in Nashville, where he was the assistant general manager before he came to the Penguins. David Poile's getting to that point where he may retire, get bumped upstairs to president of the team, and that Shero might go in there to take over. Now, they just changed coaches this year. They had hired Peter Laviolette, who is a Shero guy, who there were rumors that if Shero was going to be allowed to stay here and fired Bilesman, that Laviolette was going to be his choice. So I don't see those two hooking up there if that's how it works out in Nashville. And also, I think you're more liable to see a coach get a job midseason than you are GM. And I think Bilesman could be in line for one of the early jobs that open up in the NHL. Toronto is an interesting thought.
Or the first time
Randy
development.
Carlisle is kind of on thin ice there. They're kind of waiting around to see what happens with Mike Babcock.
I'd like to see him go to the Washington Capitals. That's my thought.
Say that again, Chris. I missed it.
I'd like to see him go to the Washington Capitals.
Oh, Washington. Yeah, there were rumors about that, but a bunch of these, the Penguin assistant went there, Todd Reardon went there, and Tony Granato, an assistant, went to Detroit today with Mike Babcock because Tom Rennie, who was one of their top assistants, who I would have really liked to have seen coach the Penguins, was named the president of Canada's entire amateur hockey operation. So he left for that job, so they needed a guy. But Barry Trotz got the job in Washington, who was in Nashville before, as it all kind of makes a bow. And so they're just starting with a brand new coach in Washington, so I don't see any changes there. That had been a possibility. And the rumor was that what the Penguins were trying to keep Bilesma from was the Washington job, because that's in the division and they didn't want to have to coach against him. And that's what that's all about.
What's your guys' prediction where they might end up?
I'm sorry, I'm having
I'm having trouble, Chris. I don't know if.
What's your prediction, Mike? Where Bilesma might end up? What's your prediction?
Oh, where the Pirates are going to end up. I think they're in fourth now. I think that's where they end up.
No, I'm talking about Bilesma.
Where Bilesma's going to end up?
Be predicted to? Where do you think he's going to be?
You know what? I don't know. But here's what I do think. I think it'll happen during the season. I don't think he'll have to wait. I think he'll get a shot. Somebody's going to get fired during midseason. Somebody that's on thin ice, so to speak.
That's a pun.
Sorry, wasn't on purpose.
Or did I cough?
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose. But so that's what I think. I think he'll end up someplace, maybe even before Christmas. But he can pick and choose. He can sit home for 2 years and collect a paycheck. He's still owed 2 years of salary by the Penguins. He'll get a TV job, which won't interfere with what he's making from the Penguins.
He'll still collect.
And then he can do that. So he doesn't have to rush into anything, which I would, that would be my suggestion to him. And I think he'll do fine on TV. So.
All right, Chris, you ready for trivia?
He has a good interview. Go ahead. I'll take multiple choice, please.
Multiple choice?
Multiple choice?
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. Here we go. This will be question number 2.
Yep.
The first U.S.-born quarterback to throw for 3,000 yards in a season also threw the first touchdown pass in the old AFL. Name him. First U.S.-born quarterback to throw for 3,000 yards in a season also was the first touchdown pass thrown in the AFL. Here are your choices, Chris. Ken Stabler, Frank Tripucka, George Blanda, Daryl LaMonica.
I'm going to go with George Blanda.
It is not George Blanda. You went on the local angle there, but that wasn't it. The answer is Frank Tripucka, who Bob notes here on the sheet played in the AFL, the NFL, and the CFL.
Not too many have done that, right?
No, and he played for the Broncos in Denver, had number 7, and had to give his permission to unretire that number. So, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't 7, it's 18 for Peyton. That he wore 18 and had to give that permission to unretire his number 18 so that when Peyton Manning came to Denver, he could wear it. And that's what Frank did.
That is
nice
amazing.
Guy. And his son was Kelly Tripucka, who was a really good basketball player at Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, right.
And played in the NBA for years. I think the Pistons, different teams in the NBA. Yeah. So, yeah, Frank Tripucka.
All right, Chris.
Good night. There you go, Notre Dame. There you go. Too bad Tony wasn't around to hear that.
Thank you for your time. Have a good
All
day.
right, Chris, thanks.
Have a good one. Break time here in the program. We're coming back. There's more right after this timeout. Welcome to Buffalo Bills Roadhouse, the place for big appetites. Their great sandwich selection includes the Geronimo, piled high with generous portions of meat and fixings. Their barbecue ribs are the best in town. Half rack or full rack, they don't come better. Buffalo Bills wings are everybody's favorite. Uniquely oven-baked, not deep-fried, and yet so crispy. Your choice of 13 flavored seasonings. Grab a bucket for the big game. Eat in or take out, credit cards accepted. Buffalo Bills Roadhouse, Freeport Road, New Kensington, across from Felderelli Square.
For over 38 years and 3 generations, Arnold Furniture has been the area's favorite furniture store. We have over 4 floors of living rooms, dining rooms, recliners, bedding, carpeting, and so much more.
You'll always find friendly personal service from one of the family.
And our prices consistently beat the competition, plus free local delivery and free setup guaranteed. Visit Arnold Furniture online at arnoldfurnitureinc.com or stop in and see us today.
AKLC Studios LLC is the place for your video and multimedia needs. Let AKLC Studios produce a unique television commercial for your business. At your location or in our studios, we're here to meet your needs. Ever want your own television show? Let us show you how. AKLC Studios LLC can even tape your special events and weddings. Whatever your multimedia need, call AKLC Studios LLC in Leechburg today. Professional quality at hometown prices. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
In the automotive industry, where you buy your car is just as important as what you buy. That's why we talk a lot about Tower Auto Sales in Blawnox. You know, they've got 3 indoor showrooms. They have the best in products, the best selection, best customer communication, and best service after the sale. Tower Auto Sales in Blawnox. Just buy it. Call call Mike Fanto at 412-828-6202. I'm sure he'll forgive me. All right, we are back.
Sure.
Let's go to Bruce.
Why are you fucking lashing out at me today?
Yeah, Bob.
Yeah.
I didn't get that prize you were sending me.
What?
Who's on the phone with you?
What's going on behind there?
You said you were sending something in the mail a week ago. I never got anything.
Well, I did. We'll have to look into it. Let's talk sports. I don't want to talk about...
I think the Pirates are cheap. I think they're terrible to lose. Even Marty Brenneman said it on WLW.
Oh, I think cheap can be argued, yeah.
Why don't they go after Mr. Price? Somebody's going to pick that guy up.
Well, yes, somebody is going to pick that guy up, and there's also going to be other guys available too. They're going to cost a little bit of money, but I think I could make a pretty good wager there, Limo, that the Pirates won't be the ones to do it, and that's the way they operate. It's going to be the way they continue to operate, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. Like if they go out and get somebody, it's going to be somebody that's like the guys that they've gotten in the past, guys that might be past their prime a little bit on the last year of contract.
Seven Springs.
Who's their top closer again?
Houston Street, the guy they're looking at.
No, Cincinnati.
Oh, Chapman.
Yeah, what's his first name?
Boy, that guy's terrific.
If he is strange situation, I'm just saying, what if Cincinnati were to announce they're interested in unloading him for whatever reason?
Sure.
We would never make an offer, would we?
Well, he costs too much money. It's
They're
number
not
one.
going to get rid of him. Why would they?
Well, they're not going to get rid of him. Did you see he set a record now? 41 consecutive outings he struck out a batter, relief outings. And that's a major league record. No one's ever done that.
41 outings.
Consecutive major relief outings, he struck out at least one batter.
At least one batter within the 3 outs that he got.
Right, or how many ever outs he's got.
Well, he got 3 against...
well, he struck out, he pitched to 6 batters against the Pirates this weekend and struck all 6 of them out.
I'm tired of being pushed around like a toy. That's all.
Yeah. All right, you want to do trivia there, Limo?
Fine. There's 1 million car dealers in the paper. 1 million.
He won last week.
Oh, you did. That's right. Okay, thanks, Limo.
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't get my trivia.
Well, you just won last week, or am I wrong?
No, you were nice enough to send me.
No, that's right.
But it wasn't really a
Boy,
prize.
is my arm getting twisted. All right, we'll give you a multiple choice. Is that what you want?
That's it.
Is that what you want?
Oh. Okay.
All right. Is it my turn?
It is, Bob. Yeah.
All right, pay attention, Limo.
Okay, remember, I didn't get anything in the mail.
We heard.
In 2012, Neil Walker and what teammate hit back-to-back home runs that both hit the right field foul pole? 2 years ago, in fact, it was July, Neil Walker and what teammate hit back-to-back home runs that both hit the right field foul pole? And here are your choices. Pedro Alvarez, Garrett Jones, Jose Tabitha, and Andrew McCutchen.
Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah, sorry about that. It was Garrett Jones. Okay?
Oh. Okay, did you hear about a guy by the name of Alfredo Di Stefano that died?
No, I didn't.
He was a soccer player.
I think I might have heard something about that.
And Robert Elder Duff died. Did you hear about him?
No.
I never heard of him.
Missed that one.
Okay. Well,
Okay, Limo, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you.
Couldn't hear too well there either.
No.
All right, I think we have Mark is up next from Arnold or New Ken.
New Ken.
Where work? Where are you
Originally
tonight?
From Arnold. I'm on daylight. I just haven't had a chance to call the past few months.
You're home. That's good.
So, not knowing what went on in the show, what's the scoop on the LeBron James? Is Cleveland going to get the championship out of this or no?
I hope he does. I'm a Cavaliers fan, so here's my favorite part of the whole thing is he kept saying, just a kid from Northeast Ohio. So am I. I'm just a kid from Northeast Ohio. I'm not a kid anymore, but 3.5 of my greatest years were spent in Northeast Ohio. I along the banks of the of Lake Erie. So yeah, good for him, and I hope to get a chance to get up there to see him this year too.
Well, they're saying if they might play one of their exhibition games down here again this year, like they've been doing.
They may do that. The question is, would he come to play? Though a lot of times they don't
travel
the best guys, but that would be nice. I'll tell you what, that would sell out. I got a feeling.
Okay, and then not knowing what went on in the show, what's your odds of the Pirates making the playoffs based on the last week's play?
Well,
I think you just answered
I'll
that.
give you the stat. I'll give you the stat again, Mark. They're against the Reds, the Cardinals, and Milwaukee. They're 13-26. Against everybody else, they're 36-20. So they haven't played well all year against the teams that are ahead of them. And I don't know what's supposed to make me think that's going to change. Now, we have teams with injuries. The Cardinals have lost Molina for a month and a half to 2 months. The Reds have lost Brandon Phillips for the same amount of time. Both have thumb injuries. Joey Votto's on the DL for Cincinnati. They had 2 pitchers leave starts against but they're the hottest team in the National League, Cincinnati, even with all this going on. The Cardinals have really caught fire here as of late. The Brewers have fallen. They're not playing well, but the Pirates haven't been able to beat the Brewers. If you look back to the 3 games that the Pirates blew to Milwaukee in the 9th inning alone, 2 by Grilli and 1 by Melanson, and see how that flips the standings a little bit. But the one thing that the Pirates are going to have to do is they're going to have to get the bullpen straightened out, beat out by what they have or by a trade, and they're going to need to get more consistent at the plate. with the players that they have. I don't see them going out and making any trades for their lineup because they're pretty much set. Other than, I still think first base.
But they're
is
still
Black.
selling out, and they're
Exactly, but they're not. I think
would've
what they're
thought
spending is about what they're going to spend now.
The newness of the newness of the old stadium. Now it's what? How many years old now? 10?
12
or 12 already?
I think it opened in 13. It
No,
opened in 01.
201.
Yeah, it opened in
Well,
01.
and their attendance is still what? It's one of their. They're on another record pace.
Yeah, they're ahead of last year too. They'll blow by 2 million again. But here's something. You mentioned that. Last time I was there, I was talking to some of the people sitting around me. It's like, think back to Three Rivers, 14 years into Three Rivers, which would have been 1984. And what a dump that place was by 1984.
Yeah.
And now look at PNC Park 14 years into it, and look how beautiful it still is. And the difference, what I think the difference is? The difference is that Three Rivers was run and operated by the city.
Mm-hmm.
And PNC Park and Tynes Field are run and operated by the team that plays there. And it's the same thing as owning your home. You put a lot more care into it when it's yours.
Yeah, they've renovated it a few times. I mean, repainted stuff, and it makes it look a lot better.
And they do a lot with it, and it's still just as beautiful as it was the day it opened. And they're, credit to them for that. And
I guess I better go for multiple choice so I don't take up too much of your time. It's getting late.
Let's multiple it up here, Mark. We haven't had a winner on these yet. Let's go. This is a baseball question. Who holds the record for most home runs in a season hit by a pitcher? Bob Lemon, Wes Farrell, Jack Stivitz, or Warren Spahn? The record for most home runs hit in a season by a pitcher.
How about Warren Spahn?
It's not Warren Spahn. The answer is Wes Farrell in 1931.
But I believe Spahn is number 2.
He hit 9. Yeah, Warren Spahn hit a bunch too. So
I know he was one of the better hitting pitchers.
He was.
That was a tough one.
Okay, Mark.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully I'll get the call next week.
Please do. We look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, have a good evening.
Thanks.
All right.
Mark segued for me. Speaking of good hitting pitchers.
Yes.
Yesterday for the Giants, Madison Bumgarner hit his second grand slam this year.
I'll be darned.
As a pitcher.
I wonder if that's a record.
It's only, they said, now here's what they said. That hasn't happened.
It can't.
Tony Cloninger he's the first pitcher to hit 2 grand slams in a season in over 40 years, to which I said, well, of course he is, because Tony Cloninger hit them both in the same game, and they never got that far to mention that. But here's the hook. Also hitting a grand slam yesterday was Buster Posey, the catcher for the Giants.
So it's battery.
The first time ever that a battery hit grand slams in the same game.
Ooh.
How's that?
There's 8 RBIs.
You might want to write that one. You might want to write
there.
that one down. Madison Bumgarner's second grand slam of the year, which is pretty good for a pitcher.
Amazing.
And then Buster Posey hit one too, just for fun. So,
I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's do a break because we're going to maneuver a couple of folks. So I'd like to get them on the air.
We can do this.
We don't have another call. Am I correct?
Okay. We have time.
Let's do the break, and then we'll come back. Love to talk to Ernie. I got to get Ernie on the air.
I know what Ernie wants to talk about too. It's never too early in the calendar to talk about it.
All right, break time. We're back in a flash. Stay with us.
Fired up.
Rockefeller's in Freeport has 16-ounce Bud Light aluminum bottles for just $3.25 during all World Cup soccer games. Stop by Rockefeller's in Freeport and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
This is where you get the absolute freshest deli meats and cheeses. Fazio's Italian Deli in Arnold. At Fazio's, you're getting only the best and freshest selection. Fazio's has its own bakery and offers you fresh baked bread, rolls, pastries, and more. Pick up individual salads to go, Italian sausages, hoagies, custom-made sandwiches, even party trays for your next get-together. Freshness and quality every time at Fazio's Italian Deli, Leishman and Dre in Arnold.
There once was a hungry road that wouldn't let drivers get very far. It wore out their tires, forcing them to buy new ones. Then along came the Michelin Man who proved the right tire changes everything. With long-lasting tires in place, those drivers were back on the road to saving money. Drive longer with the Michelin Defender tire, backed by a 90,000-mile limited warranty. Michelin, a better way forward.
Available at Highland Tire under the bridge in Tarentum and Freeport Road, Natrona Heights. Westmoreland Insurance Services isn't like your ordinary insurance agency. Not only can you get a variety of quotes from leading insurance companies, but you can purchase that protection through Westmoreland Insurance. Westmoreland provides a full range of coverage for all of your automobile needs. Westmoreland Insurance Services, putting your family's safety in their family's hands for almost 40 years. Give them a call, 724-337-3557.
Mogi's Irish Pub on Leechburg Road in Lower Borough has 16-ounce Bud Light aluminum bottles for just $2 every Saturday with local bands and DJs on the patio. Stop at a Mogi's Irish Pub and enjoy a cold Bud Light. Here we go.
We're back. I try to sneak in one
I did
more.
too. You know what? I have the cap right here. Is the
one more sip of water.
Yeah.
Ernie from Leechburg is with us now, and as we continue the show, Ernie's Subs, located in Vandergrift on Washington Avenue, one of my radio sponsors. So Ernie, good to have you with us, and of course you're close by, so you stopped up to say hello. Grateful to have you with us. So you wanted to talk about high school basketball.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just wonder what your guys' feelings and opinions are when it comes to the way transfers are thrown about, especially when it comes to Leechburg and some of the other small single-A schools. You know, you go down and you try to watch a good basketball game at the Palumbo Center, and year in and year out, you see nothing but blowouts by the same teams every year, as we witnessed this year when Lincoln Park beat Monessen, and it wasn't even a game.
Well, close to our hearts is the fact that the Borough girls team
correct
went down, but
Seton LaSalle, right? Is that who it was?
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, 2 years in a row now.
Yeah, well, it was Canavan last year.
Bishop Canavan.
It was Canavan last year in both tournaments, in both the WPIAL and the PIAA tournament, and I believe this year, I think it was Seton LaSalle this year, both tournaments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, how is that fair?
Well, that's what I said. When we had Megan Zemansky, their coach, at the Cager Classic. I said, congratulations on being public school champions for 2014. Because basically that's what it was. And I was just looking at Leechburg's boys section here, and with St. Joe's, Trinity Christian, and Amani Christian, that's three right there that you have to battle. God bless Wilkinsburg. They were 13-8, good old-fashioned public school, won the section. Good for them. You know,
yeah.
It's like, and then I look here, and this is now. Here's what it should be, and I think this is kind of Ernie, which you're going to. In section 2 in A, Vincentian, Sewickley Academy, North Catholic, Eden Christian, Quigley, and Aquinas Academy. Touchdown.
Fair enough.
Fair enough, right?
Fair enough.
You play in the playoffs, okay, and you know.
Well, I can remember years and years ago when I started doing high school basketball in the '60s that there was a Catholic league. They had Catholic A, AA, AAA, maybe Quad A. I'm not sure, but they had their own section. The problem came in tournament play because if they're going to play a public school anyway. So,
well, I just didn't like the fact that last year I had to get down to the Palumbo Center, pay $160 for parking, then $30 to get in, and the game was over in 2 minutes. And the Monessen fans were yelling at the Lincoln Park head coach for, having a recruit, Elijah Minnick, come over there and play for them when he wasn't on the team last year.
Well, and Monessen's coach had some very colorful quotes in the paper about the whole situation too, and he basically, he came out and said, look, it's like, you're going to beat us with our guy.
Yeah.
And there's no, and the other thing too is that there's no consistency to the rulings by the WPIL and the PIAA. You'll have an obvious athletic intent for transfer, and you'll have the WPIAL find that it was athletic intent and say, okay, you can't do it. But then the PIAA and the WPIL hate each other so much that if the WPIL says it's raining, the PIAA will say it's sunny. And they'll do it just to do it and say, okay, you can play. And then it happens all the time.
Yeah,
and that's another thing. That there needs to be a little bit more synergy between the two organizations, I think. And I don't like the way that works either. But it was Seton LaSalle with Borough, by the way. And like you said, in 2 minutes, that championship game, at Palumbo for the WPIL championship, a game the Borough went into without a loss, by the way. against a team where 3 of the girls on Seton LaSalle play together on their AAU squad, coached by the coach, who was brought in from Char Valley. I remembered seeing him back years ago. Highlands had played against Char Valley, and Megan Szymanski was Highlands coach at the time, which was interesting. And now she has moved on to Burrell, her alma mater. And Spencer, can't remember his last name now. Spencer is the coach. That's his first name. He was the coach of Char Valley at the time, and they brought him in to Seton LaSalle to coach all of his girls that he's already had in AAU since they were young. And guess what? His fourth starter is Sydney Bordenero.
Correct. Yeah, played for Burrell.
Played for Burrell, who had to play. And how do you think that against her coach and 3 of their players, you think they knew how to guard her? It's almost like the deck is stacked, and that's the way it's going to be. Number 2, I have no problem with private schools playing, but I think that we maybe have come back to the time of let's have the Catholic League back or the private school league back. Have them play against each other. We crown the private league. Mike Choma had the greatest idea, too. It was the Summit Academy should play George Juniors 25 times every year, and we crown the Reform School champions. That's it. We don't have to worry about them anymore.
Now, do you have any solutions in mind, Ernie? Or
I just think that, like you said, maybe the Catholic League thing come back, or maybe if enough people start complaining and not waiting till their team gets there. Like, Burrell had an outstanding girls season a couple years ago, as did Apollo Ridge boys and so forth. But it seems like people wait till they get put up against that brick wall, and then they realize what's going on here.
And when you take a look at the brackets, every single year, all those schools are in.
And I had a stat for girls.
In the Final Four.
Especially in girls basketball, especially with the girls games that we do. And I had a stat and went back how the overwhelming majority, especially in the lower classes, AA and A, of WPIAL champions in girls basketball are Catholic/private schools. And some of them have gone away. Schools like Mount Alvernia that won consistently, that the schools closed down. But there's an inherent advantage there, and especially Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park is the thing now. They're the one that's out of hand because and as the Monessen coach said, is performing arts school. Yeah, their performing art is basketball.
Yeah,
and that is exactly what they do. They are a basketball factory at Lincoln Park, and that's what they do now.
Yeah. Well.
And like I said, I don't know what you do about it, but it needs to be discussed, and the more often we discuss it, and then Bob and I talk about it on our separate broadcasts too. I know that. So
maybe get Mr. O'Malley down here someday, and we can talk to him about it.
Good idea.
I've had a few dealings with him, and he's always been very nice. And it's like it would be interesting. It would be interesting. At least get him on the phone.
Yeah. All right, Ernie.
Yes,
thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Come back sometime. Spend some time with us. Okay. All right. We wrap it up by saying
we must run.
Yeah. Was that Groucho Marx?
Hello,
I must be going.
I
must be going. Anyway.
I cannot stay. I came to stay. I must be
going. We're going to have to. Joe and I used to
say the secret word and a duck will fly down.
What was the song Joe and I used to sing? Oh, Happy Trails.
Happy Trails, yes. Joe could sing.
Oh, God. Well, he won.
He was
I don't know if
second place to Dean Martin.
If you guys know this or not, but my broadcast partner from years ago was on the Wilkins Amateur Hour, and he finished second to Dean Martin. I could have been working with Dean Martin had Joe won.
And Joe would have been hanging out with Frank Sinatra.
Folks, thanks for watching the show. We're back again next week at the same time. I'm Bob Tatter.
I'm Mike Pavlik.
And good night. Thank you for watching Sportsline, brought to you by Ace Hardware, New Kensington, AKLC Studios in Leechburg, Arnold Furniture, 5th Avenue, Buffalo Bills, New Kensington, Fazio's Deli and Meats in Arnold, Highland Tire, Torrento and Natrona Heights, Mattio's Pizza and Subs, Brackenridge Heights, Resevich Family Funeral Homes, Lower Burrell in Arnold, 380 Discount Warehouse, Murraysville, Tower Auto in Blawnox, and Westmoreland Insurance Services of New Kensington.